Just a quick word here. Feels good to coming off a victory against a good opponent. Thought our guys played hard. Thought they played fast. They had some good energy. They had a good focus about them. Thought we played a clean game. But however, we need some things that we need to clean up, that we need to improve upon to help us throughout the course of the season. So with that said, fellas, I'm all ears.
Let's start with Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, morning, Coach. I was curious, in the last game, just how important do you think it was for your entire campaign to say, all right, we're establishing the run. Not only can we beat you guys through the air, but we can do this thing on the ground as well.
Well, it's always good to establish the run game because it opens up a lot of different things, especially with the quarterback that we have and the receivers that we have out on the perimeter. I thought the young kid did a heck of a job, but hats off to the guys up front. Our O-line did a hell of a job of keeping Pat clean. They did a heck of a job of blocking in the run game. Kudos to our tight ends and our receivers downfield as well. The kid did a very good job. There's some things and some reads that I know that he missed that he would want to take back. But those are the little things that's going to help him to grow as we continue to move forward in the season.
Let's go to Sam Ellinger next. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, maybe a bit of a follow-up to what Pete just asked you, but up front, you guys just look to do such a good job up there. I'm just wondering what you see different up there. Is it more than just, obviously a little bit new personnel? Is it more than a simile? How do you guys see those guys working up front different than last year?
Well, I just think that having his time together, Coach Heck has always done a great job of getting these guys to play. Obviously, Fish came out. I mean, he's a veteran that's been here for a number of years. Mitchell Schwartz stood up, did a hell of a job. I mean, Austin Ryder, those three have been playing together for a while now. And then now you bring Wiley back in the mix, and now you bring KO. So these guys do a heck of a job of playing for one another. They do a great job of communicating with each other. And they just have a good chemistry. And so when you have that, combined with a unique runner as we have a chance. And then, like I said, out on the perimeter, we have unselfish football players. Those guys get it. They understand that, hey, it's not about the personal stats. It's about whatever's going to help us to accomplish the goal. The goal is always to win. How are we going to get that done? I have to make sure that I'm doing my part when called upon. And if that means I got to go block downfield, then I have to go and block downfield. If that means I got to run X amount of routes, then that means, hey, I got to run my route to perfection. But those guys play for one another. That's what makes this team special.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Eric, how you doing today?
Doing good. Adam, how you doing?
Good. Have you identified the things maybe you guys did wrong when you were trying to run the ball in those goal-to-go situations from the other night? And also, this was really the first chance, other than a little bit in training camp, where you got to see Clyde running the ball in those short yardage situations. What do you think of him as a short yardage goal line type runner?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say this just because I coached the position for a number of years. Clyde got to do a better job of making those guys right, and he understands that. He has to be disciplined and sound with his footwork, and he saw that. And I know he's if anything, he's probably the most critical person of his own performance. Although it was a good performance, he knows he left some things out there on the field that could have helped us to be better. So there's some things in those areas that he can help us, and he understands that. He's working on that, and Coach Dielen's doing a heck of a job of cleaning all that stuff up. But also, too, like I said earlier, these guys have a good chemistry and a good feel for one another. Everything starts up front, regardless of what side the ball you're on. On our side of the ball, those guys understand that with them, we can accomplish a lot of things, whether it's in the pass game or in the run game. If we're struggling up front, it makes for a tough day.
Let's go next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Eric. Hope all's well. I know you guys are making mid-game adjustments in every single game, but as far as the amount that you guys ran on Thursday, did that progress the way you anticipated, or did you make even more adjustments to sort of make that mix work than you maybe had anticipated on Thursday?
Well, you go into each game preparing for any given situation that can present itself. They started playing a little bit more from the top down, playing giving us a clean box, playing deep in coverage. We were like, hey, you know what? we need to pound it a little bit to make these guys come up and play and be aggressive in the run game. So it just opened up everything. And our O-line did a heck of a job of establishing some rhythm up front, did a great job of communicating on the sideline with our coaching staff. And then when you got that connection, it just helps. And these guys did a heck of a job. Pat did a great job of executing, did a good sound job of calling the plays and making sure that, hey, you know what? When it was time to run it, he was like, hey, coach, call it, run it again. Run it again. Let's make sure that we're maximizing this opportunity that we have.
Go next to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach, you talked a little bit about the offensive line, and I'm curious specifically about KO. A lot of your guys are pretty athletic. They can move around, especially get outside and downfield. KO's got a little bit more of that brawler, that man-on-man quality about him. Does that bring something different to your offensive line, and does that bring out the same mentality in the other guys?
Well, I'm going to just say this, and I've said this before. He's a competitive prick, okay? We love the attitude and the determined mindset that he brings to our room, okay? He's a guy that wants to brawl each and every play. But on top of that, I mean, he's just a tough guy. He understands the dynamics of our O-line room, and he brings that chemistry together, and he just brings that brute force with him when he's out there and playing. And he wants the ball to be ran behind him. But also he understands exactly how we're going to go about doing this. We want to make sure that we're playing smart, we're playing hard, and we're playing fast, but more importantly, that we're being accountable and we're not doing anything that's going to keep us from accomplishing our goals. But what a great kid. Love everything that he brings to the table. And I think he's just been a great addition.
We've got time for a couple more. Let's go Darren and then Karen. Go ahead, Darren.
Hey, Eric, I hope all is well with you. Look, your team played well against J.J. Watt, kind of kept him quiet. What are the expectations for your offensive line this week as they face, Melvin Ingram as well as Joey Bosa? And then second of all, look, the way that the players handled the protests and coaches as well, do you foresee that continuing, or is this just a 1 week deal?
Well, first of all, I thought our offensive line did a heck of a job last week. And each and every week they're going to be tested. Every week there's somebody across the other on the other side of the ball that's going to present a challenge. We know what Bosa is capable of. We watched him this past weekend on TV and watched all the things that he can do. We know what Melvin Ingram brings to the table as well. On top of that, they got a couple of young guys inside that does a hell of a job as well, with Rochelle and the young kid Tillery coming in. And then how about the free agent pickup in Linville Joseph, the kid out of Minnesota that they have. So each and every week we're going to be presented with a challenge. Our guys have been around, enough. They've played enough ball together. They understand that challenge. And we understand that those are some dynamic football players. We got to make sure we're putting our guys in the right position and making sure that we're giving them the appropriate help so they can execute and keep the quarterback clean. Now, as far as the protests, I'm all in for whatever the players choose to do, whatever they decide. Right now, I've been focused on the game plan. I haven't asked because they know when I'm locked in, I'm locked in. They'll let me know and instruct me on exactly what we're doing moving forward. But I will say this, hats off to them. These guys have utilized their voices and used their platforms. I've been very, very proud of the way that they have handled everything.
Let's go to Karen for the last one. Go ahead, Karen.
Hi, Coach. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? We can't see
I'm doing
you.
great. Yeah, I know. I don't have my makeup on, so I didn't want to scare you. Anyway,
I don't have mine on either, so I hope I don't
but
scare
you
you.
look great. Natural beauty. Anyway, have you changed anything communication-wise, knowing you're going to a venue where there's no fans and, everybody can hear everybody? So what have you done this week to make sure nobody hears anything on the sideline or hears the plays that you're calling? Have you made adjustments this week to prepare for that?
Well, I think more than anything is just using our inside voice a little bit more to help us. But I think we just got to make sure that Pat is keeping the huddle a little bit deeper and away from the defense. It's going to be tough, and I shouldn't say it's going to be tough, but it's going to present a challenge for us because we don't necessarily have that crowd noise going. So we got to make sure that we're doing a good job of just communicating with one another, understanding that there is no crowd noise and that, hey, we can just sit here and talk. Now, one thing with the players, we have a method of communicating, whether it's nonverbal or utilizing signals. So there's some creative ways that we can maximize what's going on and what's taking place with the venue as far as playing, but also understanding that, hey, those guys have great ears too. They can hear everything. So we got to be a little creative in how we utilize our form of communication.
Coach, we really appreciate your time today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. You guys take care. Appreciate you.